Good morning. It is such an honor to be here. I'm so honored to receive this award. The Rotary Graduate Fellowship that was awarded to me in 1989 changed my life. And so I hope you will hear my story today. When I received the fellowship, I had wonderful professors who said to me, Maya, if you really want to understand people's aspirations and dreams, get a backpack and start traveling. At St. Xavier's College, they said, travel, send us 4 papers, and you'll get your degree. I did that. I started seeing homegrown innovations taking place in people's own backyards. And there was one particular place in Bhubaneswar in the state of Orissa in India. If you've ever been to a train platform in India, they are very chaotic places. But in this chaos, I saw 50 children sitting in a circle learning how to read. And there was a teacher in the middle teaching children. She had such enthusiasm. I asked the teacher what was going on, and she said, these children live on and around the train platform. They work, they play, they beg, they sleep, but they don't go to school. I asked her, what does it cost to run one of these schools? And she said it costs $400 a year to educate 40 kids with 2 teachers. And it was there that I had my moment of obligation, or as I also call it, the Rotary moment. I wanted to start an organization where we could support small grassroots organizations throughout the world, where small amounts of capital were going to make a big difference. These children needed support that they weren't getting through the government. And it was individuals like this woman, Inderjeet Khurana, of the train platform school, who's a social entrepreneur, who made it her life's work to educate children who otherwise would never have been educated. So I founded the Global Fund for Children. And I founded it with a small amount of capital, $25,000. And I began my journey. And let me tell you about a few of the organizations we have supported throughout the world. In Afghanistan, in the 1990s, the Taliban had made education for girls illegal. If you were caught being educated, you would be killed or stoned to death. But a woman named Sakina Akubi had a vision that she went from Peshawar, Pakistan, to Kabul, Afghanistan, and started teaching mothers and teachers how to secretly educate girls. She had a $20,000 budget. The Global Fund for Children gave $5,000 to support her vision. Today, the Afghan Institute of Learning provides education and healthcare to 450,000 women and children in Afghanistan. In Bangladesh, as you know, climate change is taking over that country in the way that villages are going underwater. An extraordinary man named Rezwan started an organization where he wanted to bring schools to the children in the villages on the waterways. I remember when we first met him, he had 1 boat. He created a boat school. And that boat school educated children. They would dock at the village. Kids would come and get an education and leave. And it was solar powered. So they had computers in the boat. Today, Rezwan has over 50 of these boats throughout the waterways of Bangladesh. And he received the Gates Access to Learning Award to replicate his work, not only in Bangladesh, but to teach others throughout the world that children who live on these waterways deserve the right to go to school. In Uganda, the AIDS crisis has severely impacted the children. An incredible man named Jackson Kaguri, who came from a small village, decided, I have to go back and help. And so he started building and creating schools throughout rural Uganda. But what's great about his story is that he actually worked and empowered grandmothers, who are so important as part of the solution in supporting AIDS orphans. The Ugandan government has now asked the Nyaka school to be replicated. In Cambodia, many children in Phnom Penh make their living by being waste pickers. If any major urban center in the world, you will see children and families living around garbage dumps. There's a group called Kasaro that works with these children to provide education and public health. They bring a mobile van to the sides of all the garbage dumps in Phnom Penh and provide public health education, as well as trying to convince the parents that their children must go to school. So who are these children? They're veiled, they're invisible, they're ghosts, they're children of the last mile. And there are 500 million of them in this world. They are street children, they are child laborers, they are poor girls, they are children with disabilities, they are child soldiers, they are children affected by natural disasters, by conflict, they are migrants. It is, I believe, CBOs, community-based organizations within communities throughout the world that can support these most vulnerable. But there was something else to my vision. One of the things I saw throughout the world was that there were all these connections that all children had, whether it was their families, whether it was the love of music, whether it was the love of food, whether it was playing, whether it was their great spirit, whether it was the arts or music, but most of all, love. I saw that throughout my travels. And I said, I needed to teach children in the United States, but throughout the world, the connections we all share. So I became a children's book author, too. And I'm actually doing a book signing later, so come see me. But these books really celebrate the extraordinary lives of children and their extraordinary resilience throughout the world. So to me, the 4 things that are incredibly important in the work of the Global Fund for Children are the grassroots solutions. The solutions come from the ground. They don't come from the top. That we must back indigenous entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs in communities throughout the world. That small amounts of capital targeted in efficient and cost-effective manners can go a very long way. At the Global Fund for Children, our investments are only up to $20,000, and I have seen incredible change take place. And lastly, using local resources at local costs help the local economy. So that was me 20 years ago. I'm a bit older, maybe hopefully a bit wiser. But today I'm standing here because of you. The Global Fund for Children today, thank you. The Global Fund for Children today has invested over $35 million in 600 NGOs throughout the world in 80 countries, serving nearly 10 million children. It is Rotary's motto. It is Rotary's motto, service above self. I live that each day. And I thank the good Lord that this fellowship happened to me. I was able to receive it because it changed my life. So thank you. Thank you.